What's up, everyone? We're here. It's a good week. We had a great weekend. Oh yeah, and Larry, I'm not going to get fired, so you can be the comedic relief on this show. I'm owning that. Hey, and it was owners' night this past weekend. We've got a lot to talk about. Oh yes, it's owners' night, and we feel all right. Let's get this thing started. Welcome to the podcast of champions. No, welcome to the show of champions. This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast. How's it going, Orange County? Welcome to another episode of the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, the first and only show dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans, and supporters. I'm your host, Ray Samora, and I'm here to take you through this journey as we discuss all things Orange County Soccer Club. The panel for tonight's show, or for this episode, first, let's bring on... Oh, look at it's the return of the most knowledgeable, smartest person on this podcast. That's Ms. Taylor Brown Duncan. Taylor, how are we doing? Long time no talk.
I know. Life's been crazy, but we've been following just as much, although I haven't been on it nearly as much, but I'm very excited to be back. And I feel like every appearance I make, I say that with my gaps in between.
Well, we love having you on because anytime we can get a little bit of an accent from outside of the U.S., it makes us sound that much smarter as a soccer podcast. Usually if you listen to any kind of soccer/football podcast, there's usually some accents, non-American accents going on. So we're glad to have you on for that. Plus, you're really smart. You pick winners. You know how this game works. You played. Who else do we got? Maybe someone smarter, maybe not. Oh, it's Larry.
Definitely not somebody smarter.
Larry's the one that wants to be the comedian on this show. I'll give it to you, Larry. If you want to be the comedian, I will become more toned down, more mellow. I can talk like Dylan, and I can just say that this is such a great episode today. How are you doing, Larry?
Actually, after you doing that, I've decided I want to talk like Dylan. And
that would be a horrible episode if we all start talking like Dylan. Oh man, that would be the most boring episode ever.
Producer Andy will be looking at the viewership go, boo, and just thank. Yes. I am doing great, man. What a night Saturday night was. Hey, let me just say before we move on to anything else, check out the new merch. Finally, at long last, 2 years, I have been asking Megan to get fitted caps with the star on the logo. There we go, with the star, with the logo and the star. Now, the front of the cap, don't care. But you know what? I always wear my hat backwards anyway for my Orange County hats. This is beautiful. I love this. I was about as excited as this for this as I was for the game Saturday night.
Yeah, I think that design is totally meant to be a backwards wearing cap because, it's the over the bill part of it is But we got one other person. We're already just getting into fun talk here. We got one other person we got to bring on. That's from our writing team, DK. DK, is always wonderful to have you on here. I love your. You must have a fan on because you got the flowing jersey in the background. It looks like it's the autographed jersey just flowing in the background. It's a hot one here in Southern California for those of you that don't live in the area. So if I look like I'm dying of heat, if any of my co-hosts look like they're dying of heat, that is why. How you doing, DK?
Doing well. Yeah, as you said, I got that fan on. I wasn't trying to go for some crazy effect with the jersey waving in the back, but I guess it works. So
actually looks pretty darn cool. It looks like our flag in our intro just sort of waving right there. Why are we so excited, everyone? Well, we're excited because it was owners' night. Let's just get a quick poll here. Who's an owner in this group?
Oh man, I got the odd one out.
Taylor is not an owner.
I know. I missed the boat. I did indeed.
So it's okay, but we all know you're a true fan, and not everyone can be owners. That's not a big deal. But it was owners' night. I know, Larry, you were there. I believe you were probably there. DK, correct me if I'm wrong.
Always, singing loud, singing bad, but always for the team.
I couldn't make it out because my family's getting prepped for a family vacation. We're leaving this week, so I was spending the weekend, and we have a broken washing machine, so spending the weekend doing like loads of laundry with 2 pieces of clothing in each load is not fun. So it takes a long time. But it was owners night. Everyone got their cool merch that they got as part of their ownership. Yes. I know producer Andy shared a picture on social media with his scarf that he received. What else did y'all receive? Did any of you pony up enough money to get the jersey?
Yeah, I did.
So what do you think of it, Larry? I'm going to ask you, since you ponied up the money for that kit, what do you think of it?
The kit's really nice. I like it a lot. I'm a little bit disappointed in it, in the fact that the same batch of names is repeated over and over and over again. It was supposed to be all 1,493 or 1,436 owners' names, and it is not. Mine and Carrie's names weren't on there. But, our friends Will and Tess Simcoe, who have never been to an Orange County Soccer Club game, they became owners, and they went to their first game, and the name Simcoe is on here like 11 times. So I feel a little robbed on that, but Carrie just brought it out and handed it to me. But you can see it's really, really cool. I like it. I kind of dig it. I got some autographs on there already. I got Kevin, I got Ben, I got Seth. And the goal is going to be by the end of the season to have everybody from the 2024 team autograph this jersey and then put it in a shadow box with our other owners' gear. So pretty excited. And the scarf was nice. The scarf has a little tab with your name on it and then this owner certificate. It's all pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, and those kits actually came out pretty cool looking. I know people were comparing it to creamsicle, those good old snacks you have on a hot day like today, right? I had one when I was watching the match on TV. I had one just qualm with that kit is the way the names wrap around. Like you said, it's sort of a repeated of the same pattern. I wish it wrapped around more in line onto the back where it was. It looks like it's just sort of popped on there, and it would have been nice if they can make it wrap around and make it look really cool, like where it lined up with the front. I don't know if Larry can see that on there or whatnot, but that was my only thing with it when I was watching it on the match. But pretty cool. It seemed like the club made a big spectacle of the ownership thing, which was really cool to see. Had a lot of cool things going on, and from what it looked like on the stream, there was a good amount of fans there. Paul, who was at the match this weekend? I know we asked Larry and we asked DK. I wasn't. So I joined you, Taylor, I think, in this group of people that weren't at the match. So I'm going to get you, DK. What were your thoughts on the atmosphere at this match? Before we get into the details of the match, what were your thoughts on the atmosphere?
Oh, I think the atmosphere was absolutely great. I'm biased because I'm, right in the CLC section, and it was bumping the whole time. You could hear us on the stream, which is always fantastic. Getting to actually hear our songs that we've come up with throughout the seasons. So that was really awesome. And then, of course, we got some really great pictures that the club took of when we scored, which is always great to see as well. And, being midway through the season and getting more people into the stadium and getting more people coming over to the supporter section. Once we score, it's just electrifying and really fantastic to be a part of that environment and culture that I've loved so much over the years.
It didn't hurt that Orange County was actually sort of on paper the favorite in this match because of the form for the two teams coming into this match. Orange County playing at home, San Antonio has been struggling as of late. How scared? I'm going to go to you, Taylor, on this. How scared were we? I guess 11 unavailable players for this match. How scared were you when you learned that there's 11 players from the roster? And it's not like a bunch of like nobodies. It's key players in that list. 11 players not available for this match. What were your thoughts going into this? Were you worried or were you confident in what we have?
I definitely got a little bit of a shake when I saw the injury report. I know that we had some people come in and out, like the names, but I was shocked to see how many. And I was a little bit worried about the bet I had on the game. But, it all worked out well, and people stepped up, and we got the new keeper in, and I'm sure we'll get around to my thoughts on him. But it worked out really well.
Yeah, glad to hear that it was successful for you on your bet. I know you were nervous about that one, but let's talk about that. We're going to just talk about random things in this match. You brought it up, Taylor, the keeper. Mm-hmm. I want to get everyone's in thoughts on the debut with Orange County for one Mr. Gomez. What are your thoughts, Larry?
I really liked the way he played. I did read or I saw or something that this was the guy's second game in 2 years. 2 years. And so that says a lot about always being ready. And it was obvious right from the get-go that he was ready to go. He made some great saves. He looked very, very confident out there. And, when you're not getting reps except in practice reps and game reps are not the same, but you still got to get those reps in to make sure that you are in fact ready. And there's no question. He was good to go. He looked strong. He was confident. And again, made some terrific saves. Did everything that we could possibly want him to do, including getting the clean sheet.
Yeah. Very, it's always difficult sometimes to find out stats for some of this stuff, but according to FB Ref, I'm looking, the last real appearances for the keeper in that for Orange County was back when he was with Sacramento Republic in 2021, made 19 appearances with Sacramento. But other than that, it's been a bunch of sitting around waiting. Taylor, I'm going to ask you on this one because you played goalkeeper. How impressive is it to come in with basically no match experience for 2 some odd years and to come in and have to actually, start in your first match with a new team like this? Is it an easy task? Is it difficult? Tell us what goes through a goalkeeper's mind in that instance.
I don't think that it's an easy task at all. And I was impressed with his play the whole time. And I'm even more impressed now to hear that he had that gap. I didn't know that. He just looked so comfortable in there. It didn't look as if it was a new keeper trying to learn his back line, trying to learn the team. He looked like he belonged there, which was great. And I know I'm a Shuttler fan, but I think you can tell the difference between a seasoned keeper and how he was fit and ready to go and knew what he was doing. And he didn't necessarily need that big build up and learning curve like Shuttler did. Like it saw him through this match and it clearly showed.
And what keep in mind, I heard somebody talking. He had like a long travel to get here, and the guy only joined the team like Thursday afternoon, and Saturday he's between the pipes. It says a lot about the guy.
Obviously, there wasn't really many options between the pipes for Orange County in this match. That's probably why he got thrown into the fire like that. You know what I was most impressed with, for someone that had not really played much in a while, he was quick off the line. He was more quick off the line than even Colin Shuttler's been in his prime. And I know they're probably two different goalkeepers. I think Shuttler's more of a traditional keeper style, where it looks like Gomez is more of a sweeper keeper style. He likes to come off the line. He likes to attack the ball. There were a few times where you're looking at it and you're like, if that's Colin Shuttler, that's probably a bit of a mistake going on, and maybe it's a goal going through. But Gomez looks very comfortable with that, which is awesome to see. DK, your thoughts on the debut, and are we going to have a goalkeeper battle now after what we saw this past weekend?
Yeah, I think you took the words right out of my mouth, Ray. I was just really impressed with his ability and confidence in coming off of the line. I think there's the moment when LaCava gets a through ball into the box and Gomez just immediately comes off. He closes off the angle and stops a shot that I don't know from what we've seen of Shuttler this season that Shuttler would have been able to stop. I think that kept us in the game. I think Gomez was a really fantastic addition and, saved us in a few moments this match. So it was really great to see that. And, I think with that performance, if it's something that Gomez can keep up, then there's got to be a battle for the keeper spot. I know Gomez is a loan, so it'll just depend on how long he's loaned to us. But if it's through the rest of the season, then it'll be really interesting to see, which one of these keepers ends up between the pipes the majority of the season.
And it was interesting watching because the save you're talking about Gomez made, it almost is an exact same play as what Owen Lamb on his goal that he scored. It's the same type of play, same type of goal, even just trying to tap it over the goalkeeper or over the shoulder of the goalkeeper. Orange County's keeper Gomez makes the save. The San Antonio keeper can't make the save. That's, again, impressive because Gomez hadn't played in a while. Thoughts on the play of this team? I think reading a lot of comments on social media and in the Discords for the Orange County fans, a lot of fans were really impressed with the second half from Orange County, which has not been a strong point for this team all season. They looked more focused in the second half. They look like they look like something different than we've seen in the second half of this team all season. I'll go to you, Taylor. Thoughts on that, what we saw in the second half from Orange County?
I was pleasantly surprised. I feel like we started off pretty well, and then we had a big slump, and like we just weren't getting out of it. And then I was like, well, that's that. Like this is the rest. This is the tune of it now. And then boom, it was fantastic. It was great to see it, and I think the shakeup was maybe a good thing. We've obviously been lacking something, and a bit of a shakeup worked well, and we did have that strong second half, which surprising but awesome at the same time, of course.
I know Larry and DK, you weren't watching the stream live. I don't know if y'all have gotten a chance to watch it or found a way to watch it, because I know it's not really available for a replay. But the announcers were really adamant that part of the big change in that second half, or the, I guess, the energy from Orange County, was with the other debut player for Orange County that came in the second half, Chris Hegart. I don't know if I'm saying the name right, so I apologize if I'm messing it up. But
let's go with Chris.
Larry, you were there. You were pitch side. Do you agree with sort of that analysis from the announcers?
Without question, I agree with that. He was a huge difference maker. I don't know if I necessarily want to draw this particular comparison, but if he can play like that for the remainder of the season, as much as I love Brian Olowski, it makes the loss of Brian Olowski a hell of a lot more, a hell of a lot easier to take. He played a terrific game. He came in and made some really nice crosses. He was confident out there. He was all over the place. He was the first one to jump on Marcus after his goal. This kid came here to play, and he showed that he is absolutely worthy of being in our 18, being in our 11. And if he slots into that Brian Olowski hole, and hey, losing Brian's a huge hole. We all know that. But this kid did one hell of a job on Saturday night. I was extremely impressed. So much, in fact, that after the game, I went up to James, and I said, Daddy, we really like him. Can we keep him? As though he were a lost puppy. And James just looked at me and said, yeah, we're keeping him. So that was kind of nice. So, yeah, I like the kid. I'm looking forward to seeing some more from him.
And you kept saying kid, he didn't look like a kid out there on the pitch when he was playing. He looked like a seasoned veteran. And I'm looking up the profile. He's 22 years old. He's a kid, and he's looking so good out there. Now, obviously, it's one match, and sometimes there can be, an overreaction to one good match or one debut match.
Sure.
We'll have to wait and see what happens. But from what we saw, the eye test on that, DK, thoughts on that, on his impact in that second half? Was he as much of a catalyst to that impressive second half as we're talking about here, or did you see anything else that maybe contribute to that as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think he was a big reason on why we were able to take control of that second match. I mean, I wrote it in my post-match review, but that first half, honestly, San Antonio kind of seemed to have our number. Like, they had the edge a little bit on us, and the only thing that really kept us in the match was our defense, which, having Markus Nakkim back was fantastic to that. I think Jordan Chavez has been really amazing, these past couple matches, and really kind of shown his stuff and why he belongs in this starting 11 as well. And then, of course, I can't go through this podcast without mentioning Dylan Powers being back in that number 6 role. I think that's something that we've sorely missed throughout this season, is having just that destroyer who can come in the midfield and also clear balls away and be really aggressive right outside the box. But the thing that we were missing in the first half was the passing strength of the midfield. We relied a lot on long balls, which, as we've kind of seen throughout this season, haven't been Orange County's strength in getting goals. And so when Chris came on, that really changed the whole strategy of it seeing the squad. And I think you could see immediately, just in like the first 5-10 minutes of the second half, the chemistry he had with Kyle Scott, which, if that's something that can linger for the rest of the season, having both of them with their passing awareness is going to create so many fantastic chances for us to get into the final third and not just be there, but actually have some dangerous chances. So I think overall there was a lot of really great stuff from the squad, not just one single player making the difference. But I think, Chris coming in showed the difference of strategy that we can have when you have multiple players in the midfield that can pass into open lines.
And it's amazing, right, that the defense is coming back. There's health in the defense. I mean, I'm going to throw Dylan Powers into that whole defensive healthiness, right? Because he was a key part of our defense last year. And the role he's playing in the midfield is going to be that defensive midfielder role. So much depth now with the loanies, the health recoveries. Look at Ashton Miles, who's probably been the star defender for the first half of this season, is now relegated to the bench because we have healthy players. And nothing against Ashton Miles, but the players that are ahead of him on the pecking order are more experienced. They're more tested and more reliable would be an easy way to say it. Because anytime you have a young 18, 19-year-old, you're going to have to struggle with the ups and downs on that unless they're an amazing superstar. And Ashton Miles has been great, but he's not this like world-class soccer player yet. He still can get there, right? But the fact that he's relegated to having to come and make some appearances off the bench now, that's really a perk for this team. And it showed in this match against San Antonio. Orange County was able to now take those punches. Maybe when they're not, hitting the back of the net, they're struggling to still put some goals in the net, but they took the punches, the bend, don't break mentality. Don't let the ball past the keeper, play some tough defense and take your opportunities, like a hip check goal from Markus Nakkim or another amazing goal from Owen Lamb, who I'm still going to question, is he truly a defender or is he more of an attacking winger at this point? Because he's one of the better scorers this season for Orange County. So I think
he's one of the better scorers.
What happened?
At 2 goals on the season after 20 games, that's one of the better scorers.
I'm sorry.
Don't get me wrong. I'll take it.
I'm sorry. You look back at the season, you're going to remember probably both of his goals that he scored so far this season. When you're thinking about the goals that have been scored this season for Orange County, those are going to be 2 nominees for goal of the year. So yes, he's not scoring a lot, but also he's not getting the opportunities as much to get up front and score as you would if you were a true winger, right? But he's making his opportunities count. That's what you got to do, right, Taylor? You just make your opportunities count when you get a chance to shoot. I mean, you played goalie. If you ever got a chance to go up the pitch and try and score, you're going to try and make the most of it, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what happened with Shuttler. He went up there, tried and scored and did.
Yes. Yes. Sorry, I needed to get a quick drink before I kept asking questions. Any other thoughts on this match that anyone wants to share? Their impressions, their thoughts. Was there any disappointments from anything out there that you saw?
I don't think there was anything about this game to be disappointed about. Right from the minute from seeing who the starting 11 was and seeing the names Fox, Powers, Nakkim, all back in the starting 11, that is going to make – I really think that this game is the corner that we turn for the remainder of the season, because that is, of course, assuming that these 3 in particular stay healthy and they continue to get further and further along in their recovery. I know I talked to Foxy after the game and, I said, hey, welcome back. Good to see you playing 90. And he told me, he goes, I was only going to go 60 tonight, but I just, and I didn't play my best game, but I really wanted to stay out there. And, they let me stay and play the full 90. He goes, hopefully I get better, as the weeks go by. And I thought Foxy did a great job on Saturday night. So I don't think, I think if anybody has anything about this game that they're disappointed in, it's going to make me wonder what game they were watching.
What game was I watching, Larry? Here's my one, and this is just the minor thing. This is just me being nitpicking now because we can't all be super excited and positive about everything, right?
Well, we've had podcasts where the team had a horrible game and we've all been negative and Debbie Downers. So why can't we be all positive?
We've now had a few matches to watch Ryan Flood with his team. And I feel like every match he's skying one like 50 feet over the crossbar when he takes his shots. I don't think I've seen him really come close to getting a shot on target. Maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe there's been something.
You're going to be wrong about this match, Ray,
because,
specifically.
Again, let's go back to
2.
What game are you watching?
Okay.
He had 2 very, very close shots.
Is he the one that banged off the the post?
Yeah, he banged it off the bar, and then just I think 5 minutes before that, he also took it, up that same line and took a shot that made the San Antonio keeper have to make a big save to prevent it from going in and making it. So
then I'm wrong. Then
I was going to say that one person that we haven't talked about was Flood, who did well.
He does like to sky them over the crossbar every so often. I feel like that's just a recurring thing. I think because I saw that in this match, I was just assuming it was another match like that, but I was wrong. I will admit when I was wrong.
No. And that's okay. And I think that's something that's actually really good to point out, because it's my criticism of the team right now is that, obviously we got a big win. It's great. Every time we get a win, we're all going to be on a high, which is really, really awesome. But if you look at the score sheet, it was 2 defenders that got a goal this last match. And I think the big question that we've had all season, any fan that's watching this team, is how is the offense really going to make their staple in this season? And, every now and then we get some really good games from the offense where we get Bryce scoring a brace or Zubac heading one in. But I think there's still a lot of questions to our offense. It's awesome to see our defense starting to come together and, get some shutouts and, have a back line that we can be confident in. But our offense is still something that I question. So many of our goals come off of set pieces, which is great. I think we might be leading the league in set piece goals. I believe 8 right now, which is amazing to see. But your set piece goals are easier to prepare for other clubs. While actually, in play moments are going to be the times that you're going to get that victory, like Owen Lamb's goal. So I want to see more of that. I want to see more of our offense. I want to see more of Zubac, Jameson, Dunbar, Sordo, and even Flood, who the biggest praise I'll give to him that I don't really see from a lot of the squad is at least Flood is taking shots from outside the box or right at the box. And that's not something that we see from a lot of these guys. Is a lot of these goals that are in play goals are just tap-ins. I want to see something, from the 18 or, just a banger that goes right into the corner of the net. That's something that I think we're missing this season that I want to see more of.
When you have players that can score with their hip, maybe we don't need as many amazing goals from our attackers. And hey, guess what? We have the man with the golden hip joining us for this episode, Mr. Markus Nakkim. I got to ask you, Marcus, with that goal that you scored, was it with your hip? Was it more with your thigh? Where did it exactly hit you?
Dylan Powers told me after the game that it's second nature for me to hump the ball in. So, going off of that, I think maybe you gotta be able to score with all your body parts. I think that's
well, I got to ask you this.
Whatever it takes.
I got to ask you this question about the goal. At what moment did you realize you're going to put that ball in the back of the net? Was it when it was coming through all that traffic? Was it when it hit your hip or wherever it hit? Or was it when it actually hit the back of the net? When did you know it was going to go in?
I think you just know, you have a good opportunity when you see how the ball gets lined up. Obviously, Bryce gets the head to it, and coming from an offside position, I was able to leave my marker. And then as you hit it, you have a good feeling, but you don't really know, especially when you hit it with that kind of a body part. So, but seeing it go in, it's so good.
Now, obviously, the season's been difficult with the injuries. The team has amassed probably more injuries than any of us can even imagine heading into the season. The defense has been hit hard, but it looks like now, after all of that, the defense is looking stronger because not only are we getting healthier, but those players that had to step in and fill some of those roles got some good experience. So we were talking earlier about someone like Ashton Miles, who's been like the star defender for this team most of the first half of the season, playing a lot of minutes, making some good plays, is now on the bench. How awesome is it to see the health coming back, especially on the defense where you play? Is it something that you're excited to see?
Yeah, for sure. And it's a good point. Whenever there's injuries, there's always opportunities for other guys. But it's been hard personally. You know, I haven't had a lot of injuries throughout my career, so this year has been a rough one. It's never fun looking at games, feeling like you should be there to contribute and then being in the stands. But we've all managed to time it in a way where it looks like we can all get back together now for the second part of the season if we play our cards right. And I think that's immense. We need that part of our game. We need to get that right for us to really go on as a team and have a chance at the championship. I think from last year as well, not only from our defenders but our whole defensive shape from top of the line and back to our goalie was one of the key foundations for us. So we need to get that right, and to do that, you need to have the players available. So that's a good feeling too.
That's great. And then to kind of push off of that, being captain and having some new people come in to take some spots that, you know, are injury or on travel, how does that affect maybe like how you guys are in the locker room or going out into the field? Does your speeches change, or what goes on there for you?
No, I don't think it changes too much. We have our culture, and then you need to make sure that the guys coming in are well taken care of, and that we can help them adapt into our system, also in the locker room. But I think we've been very fortunate with all these guys coming, that they're great guys, and we're all getting along really well. Composed guys, and you know, really what we needed maybe at this stage of the season with all the injuries as well. And I think just to raise the level in training as well now, when we have most of our guys back, it's such an important thing to have the right types of people in the locker room, and also the quality every day in training, and obviously the options going into games.
And just to, you know, pivot off of both of those questions as well, you know, obviously it's, you know, really frustrating to be out on injury for a long period of time. I feel like as a captain of a squad, it's even more frustrating. What are some ways that you were able to or would want to do to support your team as a captain off the pitch when you are injured like that?
Yeah, I feel like that becomes a bigger part of your contribution when you're out. And like you say, being a senior figure in the team, being the captain, you have a role, you have a responsibility, and that doesn't change although you're out. Even though it's a lot harder for you personally when you want to be out there and kind of carry that frustration, but putting that aside and you know, trying to help the guys who are going out there and help motivate the teams, help you know, ask the right questions in the day-to-day work, video analysis, all that kind of stuff. So that work doesn't change, although it's definitely, you know, harder to feel like you can affect things when you're used to being on the pitch, and you know, that's where in most cases the leadership part really goes only so long outside of the pitch, and when you're on the pitch, that's when those skills are you know, even more essential. So it's been hard being on the outside, but I think it's been a lot of you know, a lot of stuff to learn from that period as well, and just from what you're pointing out, how you're able to help your teammates and the team in that sort of position. So that's something that I've had to work on, but definitely prefer being back on the pitch and helping from there.
Yeah, of course. And, you know, I think even fans can notice that the chemistry and the culture, despite all the injury woes, has still remained. So I think a lot of people will attribute that to you as the leader of this squad. Just one more question for me. You know, other than just your actual goal moment being a huge highlight, I think one of the best moments for me watching was actually see you argue your case to stay on the pitch after your goal. You know, you could see that moment on the stream with you talking to Hardyman about, hey, no, I want to stay on. Give me a little bit longer. So I just want to know, like, what was going through your head after that goal when maybe thinking you might have been subbed out to give yourself some rest to say, no, I got to keep going here.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, obviously you get quite the adrenaline rush, don't you, when you score and you go up into the lead. But I also think being logical about it. That first space after you score, the first 5 minutes there is essential to ride off that potential wave that comes. So I definitely wanted to stay on and help the team do that. And then, in all honesty, it was also a case of because with my injury now, and a part of when I came back last time and got re-injured, a part of it was that I came back and played 90 minutes. And then, so the plan is now to be reintegrated in a bit more conservative way, playing 45 last time. And the plan was to play between 45 and 60 now. Ended up being a little bit more, as you point out. But then I believe Paul had prepared Sorto to come in and make an offensive substitution. And then with the goal, he also had to change a few things to bring Ash on instead. So that was also part of it, him saying I need to go for a little bit longer. Although I do like your narrative. I definitely want to be out there for as long as I can, and I hope that being a little bit smarter about it this time around, can hopefully make sure that I'll be there for the rest of the season, not only for a few games.
So, Markus, that actually leads right into the first question I wanted to ask you tonight. You played 45 against Tampa. Actually, you know what? I'm going to ask you a different question. Can you see that?
Yeah.
How old are you in that picture? Like 13?
Nah, I look 13 because I have a young face. But no, I'm older. I think I'm, 20 maybe?
All right. Well, for those of you who don't know, our captain, the fantastic and awesome Markus Nakkim, turned 28 yesterday?
Hurts my soul. Yeah.
Hurts your soul, please. You're half my age. Shut up. You're fine. You're fine. But happy belated birthday, brother. I hope you had a good time yesterday.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to actually go back to my question. You played 45 against Tampa, 65 against San Antonio. How's the body feeling on Sunday morning after going the 65? How are you feeling on Sunday morning?
Well, I would say on this particular Sunday, it felt amazing. Having scored and won, and then waking up to my birthday, and we had a very, very nice brunch with a lot of the guys from the team and the staff down in Crystal Cove. So it was a really nice Sunday, and the body does feel a little bit better when you're on the right end of the results. But in all seriousness, it's I'm still far away from being 100% fitness wise, pain wise, and I think that's that's just the way it is. But we're in the middle of the season and in a critical part of the season, and I'm not gonna wait around and be 100% safe in every way before I can go and contribute, because the season is happening now and we're playing defining games for our season right now. So you need to be able to contribute. But if in an ideal world, I would have loved to have better physical base and foundation than what I have right now. That's just being completely honest. Having struggled with injuries this year, but you also build fitness through playing games. So I think if I can stay in games and build my minutes like we've been doing now, that's a very good way to do that. And like I say, the only goal is to then make sure I can stay on throughout the year and not having to have another setback. That would definitely kill me at the moment. So doing everything I can to stay fit now.
Well, keep in mind, 28 to 32, those are the prime years right there. After 32, that's when shit starts to hurt on a regular basis. So you still got time. You're good. Don't worry about it too much just yet. What I'd like you to do, if you could, walk us through a typical training day. Let's talk about a day when you are 100% healthy. Where does your day start? What time are you getting up? What time are you arriving at the training facility? Walk us through, how the training day goes for the team.
Yeah, I think, it's a little bit individual, just how early guys get there and how long they stay, and everyone has their preferences. But I have to get up early to walk my dog who's lying here and keeping watch. So I get up quite early to walk her and then head over to training around 7:45, 8. And our final call is 8:45. So that's when all the guys are there for sure. Try and get there early, get on the table with the physios, get treatment, get in the gym, do the program to try and stay healthy, and then usually there's a video meeting around 9:45, 9:30, around that time, after that prep activation with the team collectively before we go out and train for hour and a half, depending on the day. Head back in, and then some days we have gym together as a team. Other days you do it individually. And again, I think that's a little bit based on your position. Some positions need to do more weight training than others. My position being one of those. So there's quite a bit of time spent in the gym, and then we all have lunch together at the stadium, which is very nice. Just time for us to be together and help build that culture, which is very important. So club is doing a good job of us being able to do that every day. And yeah, just trying to do the ice baths, the recovery boots, everything it takes. But this is a league where you travel great distances. You play in extreme heat. You play on different surfaces. I think it's one of the most challenging leagues to play in, load wise. So I think as you get to this stage of the season, it is definitely the importance of doing all the right things to stay fit just becomes more and more important. And I think again that's you hear about that whole thing of the guys coming in early, staying late, and you want everyone to be like that. But then I think at this stage, people also know themselves. They know their bodies, what they need. Some guys need to, get the hell out of there. Pardon my French, but to just go and do something else to recover, and others need to stay longer. Myself being one of those. So there can be some longer days, but then you feel extra good going home. So yeah.
And I mean that's how you get fit and healthy for the games for sure. We have a quick question from Instagram, and then I know that Larry has another question for you. But we have Carter Lapp was asking, when you put the ball in the back of the net, when you run over to the CLC, what are you thinking? Is it just pure joy, or do you have any other thoughts? What's going on there?
No, there's no thoughts in that moment. there's just the joy. Yeah, I think there's no better feeling than scoring in front of your fans, and being a defender, that you don't do that all the time. So kind of occurred to me as the ball went into the net that I'm right here and I need to run over here and celebrate with you guys. So there's that trail of thought, if any trail of thought at all. But I think most of it is just emotions.
Oh, Ray's pulling a Brad. He's on mute.
I am pulling a Brad. He's on mute. There's a cricket in here, and I didn't want you to have to listen to the cricket. But I want to piggyback off Taylor and the question from our listener there, Carter. At what point, when you do that celebration, if you forgot where you were going for CLC, do you just say, nope, I'm just going to run to the other flag? Because I think for a second you were going to run to the opposite flag, and then you remembered, oh, wait, no, CLC's that way. So you run around the back of the goal to go celebrate with them. At what point is the point of no return in that?
Good question. I don't know if there's a point of no return. I've seen Thomas Among run across the pitch to celebrate with kind of like collision. So some would argue there's no point of return, but yeah, I think because I was naturally moving in that direction. Yeah, and I think looking back at the goal, there's some guys starting to follow me that way, and then making the cuts to go the other way, kind of losing some of them in the process, which was not intended. But yeah, I think just having that moment with the fans, and then for all the players to come together there, that's what it's all about. It's moments of passion, and there's a reason why you work so hard to achieve those moments. So when it does happen for you, you need to take advantage of that and enjoy.
Yeah, and just one comment off of all of that, with celebrating with the CLC, I don't know if you realize, but at least for me personally, but I think with a lot of the people in the group, one of the best moments of the CLC celebrations was last season in Vegas after you scored your goal, and you immediately came over and jumped with us in those kiddie pools. And I just want to let you know that will forever be a legendary status. I have a picture of me and you celebrating in the kiddie pools, and it's like my favorite CLC Orange County Soccer Club moment. So just thank you for always celebrating with us. It means so much.
There really is nothing more that the CLC, there's nothing that fires up the CLC more than when County scores a goal on our end and you guys come right up to the stands and celebrate with us. And we've had a few of them over the years, and it means everything to us fans. I have one last question, Markus, and this in regards to the two newcomers on the team. We're talking about a couple of guys who've been with the team for less than 48 hours, and both really put in some really good shifts. Haggart and Gomez. From a captain standpoint, what are your thoughts on their contributions to the game Saturday night?
Yeah, no, for sure. That's you're spot on. Big contributions from both of them. It's not easy. I've been on that end of things, coming into a new team and then instantly having to come up big with a performance without really having been able to train with the team. It's not ideal, but it's part of the job. That's what we needed them to do, and big credit to them. I think Thomas came in with a lot of responsibility. Big game, and we need that guy at the back to be solid, which I think he delivered. Tons of experience, and then for Chris, I've had that flight over from Norway a few times, and I know how your legs feel after. So for him to come and then have one team, and I think he also came in and gave us something really important for that stage of the game. So going forward, just a great boost, I think, for them and for the team to put in those types of shifts. I think that just boosts morale all around. To know that we finally have a bit more depth in the team if we can keep guys injury free, and then being able to play on different kinds of strengths as well, but also having that kind of level in the team when you go into the final stage of the game, which is completely essential. So yeah, big credit to both of them, and we're gonna make sure and let them know that they're appreciated in the locker room.
I think we've gone over a lot of time with you, but I have one last quick question from a listener that's watching live. It's from Chuck Eldridge. He wants to know, I believe correct me if I'm wrong, I believe we've had 4 different kits this season. He wants to know which one has been your favorite kit to wear in a match this season.
Well, I can start with my least favorite kit, and that's not because I don't like the kit, but the kit we wore for one match in which I also missed a penalty, and we were beaten out of the cup. So the cup kit, which I actually thought was really cool, has to go bottom of the list. I thought the owner's kit was really cool. I think most of the guys in the locker room did as well. Just the whole theme of it, and also the colors, and yeah, so that was cool to play in that one, and I think just because of the whole atmosphere and how the game was, hopefully we'll be able to wear those again at some point. But I mean, the orange one's always cool. Good color, and I thought before the start of the year, the black one with the Orange County lines on it was really cool, and straight away received a bunch of messages from friends back home wanting me to get them one for when I go back. So yeah, I think maybe I have to say that one, but unfortunately we haven't been able to wear that much. So yeah, I'm hoping we can start wearing them a little bit more away from home. But yeah, we'll see what the club says.
So I think in the end, what Marcus is saying is he actually likes all the kits. There's a good thing to say about all of them. Even in the moment of the one kit you only got to wear one time, you still liked the design. It sort of brings back some horrible memories. And the cool thing with the owner kit, it's always cool when a team can pull off an all white kit. You see certain teams that can do that. It's something sort of, I know some teams use that as like, when they're playing European nights or, in Champions League, the all white kit is a way to go or something like that. So pulling that off is a pretty cool thing. Y'all looked really cool in those kits this past weekend. So with that said, Marcus, any last words to the fans heading into this big weekend match away against Birmingham, but the ones that'll be at least watching the streams?
Yeah, obviously not expecting anyone to make the flight out to support us there, but hopefully you guys are watching from home and having our backs as usual, and then just for this final stage of the season, going into playoffs after a bit, hopefully having to do the work at first, obviously, to get there, but I think you guys know how much we appreciate you, but I think it's important to say that nonetheless. It's been a rough year and an inconsistent year, but you guys have been very consistent and always, showing up to support us, and hopefully we can create in the evenings like we had on Saturday more throughout the year. I think heading into the business end of the season, we that's something that sets team apart from one another when you really have that home crowd like we had on Saturday. So just hope to see as many of you as possible on the games going forward as well, because it's much appreciated from all of us.
Awesome, everyone. This is the defender, the captain, the man for your Orange County Soccer Club, Mr. Markus Nakkim. Marcus, thank you, as always, for joining us. We look forward to seeing you back at Championship Soccer Stadium soon, and go get them this weekend.
Thank you.
Awesome. So, folks, if you like hearing what Marcus or any of guests that we may have in the future have to say, and you don't want to forget or you don't want to miss out, you want to participate live, join up in the comments, ask questions, because like we did here, we'll ask some of the questions if we get a chance to. Follow us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, X, whatever it's called, Facebook, whatever social media you can find us on. Follow us so you can be alerted when we're going to have new shows, new content, and you can pay attention. Also, give us a like. Follow us on your podcast platforms too, whether it's Spotify or elsewhere, so that way you can know when we're going to have that. But I will advise YouTube's a great place to follow us, because then you'll be notified of our live shows and you can participate with us. So here's what the plan is, just so you all know, because we didn't talk about this upcoming match against Birmingham Legion. I think we're going to try and work something out with some folks from Birmingham, maybe get a little extra content episode midweek here for y'all to get a nice little preview of that match. Can't guarantee it'll happen, but we're going to do our best to make that happen and get that out for you, and maybe do stuff like that in the future. That way we're not rushing through, maybe recapping matches. We're able to talk a little bit more about the experience, the matches, the players, the plays, and you get to hear me, put my foot in my mouth and talk about a player that is skyrocketing goal shots over the crossbar, but in fact had some good shots on target. I know you love when I do that, because you got to talk trash on me. Hey, but that's the plan. So don't think we forgot about talking about Birmingham. That's what we're going to try and do for y'all to get something available for you. But we still will do score predictions on this, so that way we can record what our thoughts are. Before we do that, though, we got to talk about where the scores are. I'm going to do this. The person that's in first place, I'm going to let you describe these, Taylor. Tell us about these score prediction scores.
Absolutely. Well, I can tell you up first, in first place, who's been sitting in first place, who was first place last season, is me. So we can just sit on that for a little.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
That gold, that right there, 51, that's me being first. Up second, we have Kayvon. He was second, I believe, and I should have fact-checked, but I believe he was second last season, so we are sitting up there. But I think we have a currently new third place of Michael with 41. We've got not a major point spread here. I'm only winning by 5 points, so this could still go sideways. And then behind that, we've got a lot going on that are climbing close to us. I mean, there are seven people with 7 points reach of third place. So, I mean, it's still a tight competition, which brings me to my point that I don't know if I can give my score predictions out on air anymore. What if people start realizing that I'm always right?
Well, you can always lie on air, Taylor, and then submit it, whatever your real score prediction is, on the website. That's what I would do.
Shows you what kind of person Larry is. I didn't even think about lying to the fans.
Hey, y'all, producer Andy's jumping on. He only jumps on for very special comments. What's up, producer Andy?
Yeah, I just needed to fact check and let Taylor know that I only have the season ending score from 2023. Taylor ended on 65 points. Kayvon ended on 64 points.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I'll save some thoughts for what we learned as we wrap this up. But there's where we are with the predictions so far. Thank you for Taylor didn't know she was going to have to talk about this. So great job, Taylor, for taking the ball there, running with it or dribbling with it or whatever the soccer version of that would be. But yes, we got to give our prediction for this match. And Larry, we got to be honest. We got to be truthful because even though we're a fan podcast or a fan show, we're still basically part of the media thing. So we got to be fair, honest, and truthful about this. So Larry, your prediction for this upcoming match at Birmingham Legion.
The interesting thing about Birmingham is they are a Eastern Conference powerhouse, but they have almost the identical record and goal difference that we do. So we have all considered our team to be struggling this year. So apparently their team is struggling as well. So I say that this game is going to end up in a 1-1 struggle.
A 1-1 struggle. What about you, Taylor?
1-0 win for OCSC.
All right. And then what about you, DK?
The one thing that I will say is when I was looking at Birmingham stuff is although they are about the same as us, just 1 point above us, they do really well against Western Conference teams from what I have seen so far. So that's my only really big worry, especially going out to them. However, I also am going to say that it's going to be a draw. I will say 2-2.
Awesome. I'm going to go 2-0. Orange County is going to win this one. That's our predictions. Let's wrap things up. What did we learn this episode? Hey, I'm going to go first. What did I learn this episode? For our prediction game, it's Taylor and Kayvon. It's like Kobayashi and Chestnut here. That's what that battle is right here, is those two. It seems like every competition, there's the others, and then there's Kobayashi and Chestnut or Taylor and Kayvon. That's what I've learned. Taylor, what did you learn this episode?
I learned that Nakkim has a dog, and I wish we got more FaceTime with the dog as well.
All right. Larry.
What did I learn? I learned that apparently Ray was not watching the same game as the rest of us based upon his comments about Ryan Flood. Literally 12 seconds after I said, "Are you watching the same game the rest of us are watching?"
Hey, I just had to have some fun there. DK.
I learned from our captain that you got to be prepared and ready to score with any part of your body.
That's exactly the thing to do there. I want to thank everyone for participating in this episode. For the viewers, the listeners that watched live, thank you for doing so and throwing in the comments. For our special guest tonight, captain for Orange County Soccer Club, defender Markus Nakkim. Also for my co-hosts, Larry, DK, Taylor, and producer Andy. This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, and we are out.
Peace.